Welcome to the General's Gentlemen.
Alrighty, hello, welcome to Company of Heroes 2. Today we're casting a 2v2 match on the December balance preview. This is 1.61, so maybe the latest version by the time this video is out, perhaps not, is also likely.
I have been attempting to kind of clear the backlog of content, at least for Company of Heroes 2. The goal at least is to be like about a week behind, kind of when, like from when a video is shoutcasted to when it's posted is like a week or less is kind of the plan, because you obviously, like, I've got to have about a week of content like, already ready to go, banked up, just in case, you know, we run into whatever issues or like holidays or, you know, we get sick, like whatever
yeah,
happens.
at least
it's good to have like a week worth of content ready to throw down. So that's the plan at least, but here we are, 2v2. As our Axis today, Zyswen as the Wehrmacht. His ally will be Kpen as our OKW.
The Allies playing the US, and alternate world. His teammate Quicksilver playing the Soviets. Oh, that was interesting.
2v2 I think we've done on the December balance preview.
Yeah, that's true.
2v2 recently-ish, but that wasn't on the preview, so hopefully we'll be seeing some new and interesting things. And Kpen's already locked in some new and interesting things.
There was a 2v2 tournament, and there was a lot of replays. I don't know if they were the December balance preview, though. Because I don't think you can actually check looking at the CoH2.org replay section. It's not until you
it doesn't say.
Open it in-game. With something that I do appreciate about CoH2 Replay Manager is it does tell you what version a replay is, which is very, well, of a mod that it is.
Kind of important. So Kpen's locked in. I don't know, what is this thing even called? It's like
Feuersturm.
Oh yeah,
Feuersturm,
Feuersturm, of course. Much fire.
So much fire. Yeah, well, that's what we're calling it now. Much fire doctrine has actually got a pretty significant rework. Has some really cool changes in there. So one of the things, as we'll see if the riflemen get out of here. Oh my God! Whoops.
Murdered.
Well, okay, that's a bad start there for AnAlternateWorld. Because he went Remorder as well, so he only has one rifleman toward the field.
That's the worst, going for a support weapon and then losing one of your mainline infantry squads. It's not really, it shouldn't be too punishing. This is like road to cut off, so your ally is able to...
Lucky mortar shell though. Not enough for the wipe.
Your ally is actually able to kind of rotate over and help you out.
Oh my God, the Ostrov could even wipe this. Ostrov have been very bad at wiping things, bear that in mind, but it was a very weak squad.
I like Ostrov.
See, look at this mortar. It hasn't taken much damage at all.
Yeah. To be fair, the Ostrov were focusing the echelon for a fair period of time, but yeah, mortar's taking a bit. Oh, mortar, what is your pathing? That was the old grab my rifleman and attack move and also grab my mortar.
Yeah, that was a box select, I think is what that was. Either way, great start so far for the Axis. They've got their fuel and denied the Allies their fuel. It's been cut off pretty much the entire time.
That's the only thing keeping them off double munitions is double Maxim from Quicksilver that he's built. But this one's actually run into an MG42.
Dude, that pinned Maxim actually was doing pretty good response to that MG42. But I did want to talk about Feuersturm because it has got some cool changes.
Yeah.
So, the Volksgrenadiers, as well as the Sturm Pioneer Flamer upgrade, the Volksgrenadiers can actually upgrade the assault package here. So it gives them all MP40s and gives them smoke grenades and a regular HE grenade.
That share a cooldown.
They share a cooldown, which is very important. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting because the MP40s are actually kind of bad, but having those grenades is really good. Especially just the utility of that one smoke grenade. Use that to storm a machine gun position. Go for a cat on a VP where you know there's an angel looking over it.
Yeah, certainly are a lot of benefits, and you see that kind of globally through all the factions. Pretty much all the factions have a squad with a smoke. US, for example. Damn you, riflemen, or not even any riflemen anymore. Damn you, echelon, which is not nearly as bad. Oh wait, they did move smokes at some point, didn't they? What did they
so
move
the
to
smokes
echelon?
have been moved from riflemen to officers and the echelon.
Yeah, officers. Okay, that's right.
And I think in the last update, because originally it was only the the Echelon and the Lieutenant. Now it's also Captain and Major.
Right. More utility on Major PogChamp. What a great
yeah,
unit.
as if the Major needs more abilities. I sort of liked how it was only on the Lieutenant because I feel like the Major already was a bit more useful, or at least it was more unique because I had that Thompson and the Bazooka, whereas the Lieutenant squad is pretty much just a Rifleman squad with worse veterancy bonuses.
Yeah. But more combat efficient early. More combat
Yeah,
effective
because I guess that
early
free
on, so,
bar.
yeah. It's kind of how we always built it. It was just like, irregardless of tech, though obviously you were taking into that path. It was just like, oh, have another Rifleman squad, please, which is essentially the Lieutenant.
Yeah.
So recovery now from our allied players. They're retaking the middle of the map. They have bled 70 VPs in the process, however. Starting to regain some control. Those early maxims will do that for you. A lot of flank routes on road to Kharkov.
Yeah, back to the Lieutenant. Also doesn't have AT grenades, so that's another thing that's...
Yeah.
It's just a crappy version of Rifle Squad generally. But, anyway, Maxim, only 2 of them in the field. But it is good to have a couple of support weapons. It's also because it's a pretty narrow map, so flanking them can be a little bit harder. Look at this, M20 mines. Let's just click on the vision to make sure it isn't spotted. Oh, wow, the flame half track. Looks like the mine's going to finish. And maybe you'll chase after this Maxim, but that Maxim got murdered instantly. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's getting completely shredded, and actually the half track stays still to get the burn. Of course, those flame half tracks aren't very good chasing anymore, but if you just leave your squad still, it will roast them.
Especially with that Maxim death loop, it's very, very deadly. The M20 should also be pretty good against that, just with its main gun, unless it gets tagged by a Faust, of course.
Nice. Everything gets forced off here. Flame half track, an excellent choice, and our Axis will pick up a Maxim.
Now, we should see the Pioneer Sweepers, given that the M20 was seen, especially when you already have a flame half track. You don't exactly need a regular Pioneer flamer.
Yeah, a bit excessive. Sweeper would make a lot of sense. I love these light vehicles. It's also pretty hard to counter to things like this Pioneer Flamer squad, which is also like that's a pretty deadly combat squad. You throw that Pio Flamer in with pretty much, you know, into any unit engagement. You know, it's burning down support weapons like MGs. It's just turning the tides of infantry versus infantry engagements, because even if you focus them down, they still close into a range to use that flamer. It's why it's such a common pickup on, you know, pioneers and combat engineers, is to grab that early flamer and then build another squad for a sweeper later on. So these light vehicles do counter that in a sense. Like, Pio Flamer not really going to do much against a flame half track.
So the RD officer has also got some changes. It has a mortar barrage ability, which is quite nice, because otherwise it was too reliant on existing artillery. Because it has the coordinated barrage. I think for that to work, you need to have existing artillery assets,
right,
where the heavy mortar barrage is its own thing. And I think it's just got some other bonuses too. I can't remember exactly what it was. Diversion.
Yeah, that's something to do with...
The diversion's new.
Yeah, the diversion is new. I haven't really seen it used, so we'll kind of have to wait until it gets...
Score. Is that that's a... Oh, never mind.
So yeah, the half track actually does go down. Sometimes the machine gets baited into tooltips. He loves a good tooltip, so he just commits pretty hard to them. Can't blame him. I too love a good tooltip. They're pretty swaggy. First combat package has arrived for Kpen. With the MP40s. Man, that's a good looking icon. How cool is that MP icon? I can tell you're in trouble. Lieutenant's bar looks pitiful.
So this squad, was suppressed and now it's unsuppressed. On the retreat part, that could be a little bit nasty.
Yeah, could definitely try to down.
Wow, okay. I guess he didn't want to stay around against that M20. So the Lieutenant does get away. There's going to be a lot of support weapons here. That's a 50 cal and 2 Maxims. Unless, of course, the Maxim was denied. Yeah, only 1 Maxim, so it must have been stolen.
I think it was stolen by
salvaged.
Zyswen. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. There it is.
I'll have that one back, please. Ah, get model drops, Quicksilver. There'll be no capping of machine guns for you. Good job, Google Wagon.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of things we're seeing in this game that have been changed. For example, the incendiary ISG rounds. And now I think it's actually firing them there. So that was
Essentially, lots of Molotovs.
yeah, I do like that because it's more thematic. Certainly having the more fire in the fire command, because otherwise it didn't really have anything. But the conscript should be able to steal this Maxim away.
No retreats coming through either.
Lost the squad of Ostrippen.
Yeah, they get dropped. Big manpower loss. I think it's 6 rounds on that the infantry sport gun. Pretty sure.
What?
Smoke, not a what?
That must have been a misclick,
This is
surely.
the wrong
Oh my god.
grenade. Oopsie doops.
The MP, yeah, the Volk's still in training.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that. I don't know if it would have killed the Maxim. It probably would have, even just by extension of death looping for the rest of the squad to gun him down.
I mean, honestly, like, while the Volks Grenadiers are learning, I would prefer to pull the pin on what I think is a HE and have smoke pop out than pull the pin on a smoke and then have it blow up. So.
The M20 wasn't fully repaired, so it got one shot there by that pack. Always got to make sure you have those light vehicles full health.
I'm getting dropped off by Zyswen's, like, what's it called? Like, lots of stuff drop, get a pack, get some munitions, get some stuff for manpower.
Oh, man. Oh, that's upsetting. That was like a minimum range mortar shell. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So mortar's very accurate minimum range, but that clumping was pretty nasty.
Maybe it was just like an overhand lob from one of the mortar crew, just like smash, like knock the mortar like shell on a rock or something and then threw it in. So.
It's sort of funny. A lot of people have in the past complained about the US mortar since it's been balanced, which it is now. People are still sort of complaining that it's too accurate. And the only reason why it may appear too accurate is because it has less range. It moves closer, which makes it more accurate. But any other mortar could be just as accurate if it does move closer to its target.
Most of us kind of default to using our mortar at max range, which is the smart thing to do.
Yeah, generally, you want to have it at max range.
Yeah, otherwise, stuff like this happens, and Quicksilver's mortar is certainly going to be forced off. The sport gun, a little bit too strong, of course. Got to keep in mind, barrage, different range to auto attacks as well, so that's a switch. So, which is less? The auto attack range is less. Isn't
For
it?
the
And
ISG, it is
range
now.
Is the same
Yeah.
range as it used to be.
The mortars are still the same though. It's just the rate of fire that is the difference. Because the ISG auto range used to be so big. So the PTRS conscripts are actually different as well. It's more than just PTRS. It's actually this new package, and so what it does is it removes Molotovs, but it gives you the vehicle detection. It also gives them cloak as well, so they can cloak in behind cover, and then you can actually ambush things. You know, use the grenade volley, which has been buffed. Get the snares off. Yeah, it's, you know, get enough damage done with the PTRS and so forth that you can get a reliable damage engine from an unsuspecting opponent. And I think it's even lost its regular AT grenade because these have been buffed. So I do like this rework.
Would make sense.
Because before these things were just awful.
Seems
They would
a bit
always
necessary.
miss.
Yeah.
Now they track, or at least they track more than what they used to, which was none.
The squad quite unable to throw when they're pinned, and don't want to lose it. That's a munitions investment early on. The retreat comes through, should be fine. One man with his PTRS runs away to reinforce. Ooh, even Quicksilver with a lock-in. It's almost as if our players knew this game was going to be casted. Try all the new things.
Yeah. Unfortunately, these US commanders haven't been changed, and there has been a few that have. The Mechanized and the Recon Company both have had some extensive changes. Well, that was a nice smoke barrage. I'm guessing that's from Quicksilver's mortar.
Yeah. Talking about synergy, love it.
Unless that was the Lieutenant's smoke.
Cutter can probably be taken here. Well, there's only one smoke shell, it's kind of weird.
So the swag pans has been changed. It's now on the HQ rather than a pull in. It's very, very strong now. It has a lot of damage.
Does it have a little bit more turret rotation as well? Like a little bit more room to move there or something like that?
I'm not sure about that, but just a lot more damage.
Right,
and
okay.
I think it also requires the Panzer headquarters now, so you can't just stall without tech in the way that you used to.
I love me a swag panzer.
I don't know if we can really call that anymore, because now that it's actually balanced, or at least assuming that it is, the reason why it was swag pans was because it was just so bad.
Even the old like artillery on this commander was like awful as well.
Oh yeah, that was trash.
Why
They
would
got
I even
buffed.
do it?
Yeah.
The rocket barrage. That's it.
And there's now the Opal truck, which is interesting. It's basically fuel caches. Oh wait, no, this is different. This lightly protected truck capable of supplying troops with munitions while carrying and reinforcing infantry. Wow, that's a whole new thing. So it's different to the other Opal truck that you get on Verma. So I think we actually saw, we saw use of the grenade ambush there. Did a fair bit of damage, almost killing the Flam Panzer, but there's MP40s on the Volks, and that's pretty effective against PTRS conscripts. You're getting up very close.
The Opal truck actually gets used. I mean, it's nice that it's actually, because it has usage now that it is 25 fuel. The Wehrmacht one is only 200 manpower. That's it.
Yeah.
That's simply a hull down. There'll be no carrying of infantry or any other nonsense involved there.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
I love S-mines. I was really confused there for a second.
What
I'm
the?
just like,
He
when
did it again!
Oh!
Why is he doing that?
Is it a bug?
No, he's probably just got the wrong hotkey on.
Right.
Wow, Kpen.
Jeez, Kpen.
Command level capabilities ready for deployment.
Just because they share a cooldown doesn't mean they're the same thing. That's twice where it definitely should have been a HE. That is very strange.
T-34 very important right now to force off that Flampanzer pretty reliably.
Yeah.
Alternative World floating up a bit of manpower here, still not having command, but he does have his major, so he will have access to a Sherman.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So far, 3 of our 4 players have locked in commanders without cool-ins, like cool-in tanks, so
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
So a priest will be pretty effective here. There's definitely a clumping of support weapons near this Panzer headquarters, so that's what I'd like to see. Go for a Sherman first.
Yeah.
I mean, he went tier 2, didn't he? So he can go 50 cals and then go for a priest, and then I think that's a good way to play this map.
I mean, Quicksilver has tier 4, so he could go for a caddy as well. That's also an option. Certainly affordable. Brumbar's a solid option. Brumbar will displace support weapons, so displace any AT guns, and also displace the PTRS conscripts, which obviously have a setup time for these big weapons. So the Brumbar makes a lot of sense to me. It's going to be quite hard to deal with the current AT options. Bro,
Wow.
Burn own Volks Grenadier squad. Okay.
We got the Maxim down, but no worries. Going to be taking that one.
Shouldn't be traded out. Brumbar's is going to try to. We'll walk up for one volley, but rear MG from Zyswen is actually out of range, so no dice.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
So Quicksilver does have enough munitions for this AT bombing run. Very deadly ability.
Well prepared. Nothing really from our axis that would indicate a dive or them really wanting to pressure any units. Opposition quite defensive. Just kind of wanted to sit behind heavy covers, set these MGs up in nice positions. Where's the howitzer been built? Hasn't fired yet.
Oh wow, howitzer, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it's in the base sector. That's in a fairly safe position.
Well, I don't know if this commander has a howitzer. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Tank and tactics a howitzer. Okay.
Now, the howitzer now has a direct shell shot, which can penetrate through tanks and into other tanks, so you get like flats. It's great. Good job, Brumbar. You get those support weapons. Don't take no nonsense.
Tank destroyer is ready for orders.
Also, 5-man squad, among other changes. So
Railway artillery at the
I
ready.
think they're a bit more combat effective now as well.
Well, they're MP40s, so
Yeah. 4 MP40s is not bad. Plus the swaggy officer.
yeah.
He has a Luger, doesn't he?
Oh,
Is
that-
that what he has? Or?
Yeah, Luger. Well, the bombing strafe went down. Looks like it missed the mark, though. I think it went over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, Jackson. Nice. Jackson's actually very strong now,
It's an excellent choice.
having the extra health.
I'll give you the opportunity to say that one more time. What does the Jackson have, Machine?
It has extra health, extra penetration, bit less damage.
Feels
Certainly
good,
the
man.
damage, the main thing, and the penetration's even just icing on the cake.
It really is.
So many years of bitching and so many memes later, my Jackson is finally good, and that makes me very happy.
Yeah, it is key.
Because it means you can go all these different commanders now. You can go for your paratroopers. You can go for priests if you want to, and you won't just have awful late game. The problem is US late game was just so flimsy. You really had to rely on things like the Pershing, or just trying to play a really defensive, obnoxious playstyle with the Calliope and MGs, and just trying to get squad wipes from Calliopes. It was just a really boring playstyle.
Yeah.
But now you have a lot more options, and so yeah, when you buff the non-doctrinal tanks, it means that call-in tanks are less essential. And that's the same for the Su-85 when that was buffed a while ago. A lot of Soviet commanders have been opened up.
Jackson's going deep here. It's actually it's backed a long way away.
Oh.
This is a little bit too deep for the Jackson. We'll actually back off. That's smart. Can I just have a little look at the howitzer range at the moment? I just want to see what it covers. It's kind of important.
Where is it?
Max range I'm interested in.
Oh, well, pretty much the entire map.
Yeah, pretty much the entire map. Okay. I thought it would be close to that, but I wasn't sure. So even a little bit more investment into indirect fire from Quicksilver could be good here. And the reasoning behind that is like you howitzer here. Here's a really good example. Like you howitzer there, and then you Katusha the battle group, or like the other way around. Like either one works. It's actually he's howitzing the battle group here. But imagine if you had another source of indirect fire to force those squads into that barrage. That'd be pretty cool. So I wouldn't hate more indirect fire from our allies at this stage of the game. Just look how clumped the Axis units are. It's really insane.
Wow. So we see the LMG off-stripping. You get the LMG once you get Battle Phase 3, also having the buff from the Arty officer, so a pretty effective combination. Whoa. Oh, I think it's just crushing edge mines.
Yeah, it was, yeah. The comm engineers were there before to try and clear some up, but probably didn't get all of them. So fairly safe mine crushers, should be able to repair that one fairly easily. There won't be more indirect fire. It's another T-34 from Quicksilver. Wants to kind of solidify this medium tank pressure and provide support to the Jackson is really important as well. Just like one medium tank isn't exactly a lot of front line, you add a second medium tank in as well, and the Jackson's in a much better position.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Another T-34. So the cost of the howitzer has changed. It's now 400 manpower, 50 fuel. So if you go for a howitzer, you don't end up having that massive fuel bank anymore, which you would get anyway with the T-34s just because of how expensive manpower they were. But now they cost more fuel. So a combination of those two makes the Soviet economy a lot more balanced in that late game sense now, where it's an even sort of mixture of manpower and fuel.
Man, what a dirty combination. Like support gun, Insignia Barrage with like the Flum coming in as well. Actually wiped some support weapons, but gets wiped in return. Good job, Howitzer.
So Kpen should be able to take this out with his rocket barrage, as long as he gets vision on it. Oh wow. That T-34 is very low now. Panther's on the hunt. There's another T-34 here in position. Boombar as well can hit it if it's stationary.
We're thinking about getting the killing blow of the T-34, which probably would have been the good option. The Panther currently getting flanked. So the Panther successfully takes the first T-34. Actually get a reverse move here, not going to go on the chase. Panther should get another shot off, and it does, killing the T-34. I'm surprised that had enough damage.
So there was two AT guns there. There was a Raketin
Right,
and a Pack.
okay.
That's why that second T-34 went down so quickly. And I love this positioning with the double M1s in front of this mine, but perhaps they're a little bit too far forward because it's unlikely a tank is going to drive here when it sees double M1s, so probably should put them a little further back.
Yeah.
Also, having them so close together, Brumbar can take those both out.
Yeah, pretty much just giving the Brumbar even better chance of hitting, because if you scatter into a AT gun, which is a nice way to scatter.
It'd be different if there was a Quicksilver Zys guns, because you can actually cloak them because of his ambush. So then double cloak Zys in front of a mine, and you have it on hold fire. That's a really nasty combo if you do that.
Moving towards our victory points, 342 for our Axis, 330 for the Allies.
So that interesting is the 50 cal also has the death loop. If the guy drops, it has to be re-picked up. If that was an MG, that wouldn't have been killed there. That would have ran back to base and survived.
Can't believe the lieutenant got the cap under double LMG Austrian flyer. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, one of them also wasn't in cover, so they're like Brits, but they need that cover bonus with the rate of fire.
Even the Austrian now going to be forced off, but shot. Bad Boy's putting a lot of pressure on. Intelligent side of the map to use it on as well, knowing that there's already two T-34s down. There's not much AT on that side of the map. What's going on?
I think I heard a caddy firing. Oh no, it was a rocket barrage. That's why.
Okay.
I was looking for a caddy shell, so I missed that one.
Didn't actually call it down on the howitzer.
That must have been it.
So did both of them get taken out? Or just
Yeah,
one?
both of them.
Wow.
So
nasty.
that must have been it. Because it sounded like a caddy, so...
Yeah, it was quite similar. It sounded closer to a caddy than it did to a stew.
It probably was the exact same sound as the caddy. There's a few things that have the... Well, like
Yeah.
the mortar half track, the Wehrmacht, is the same as the Soviet heavy mortar.
Yeah.
So a few of those sound assets are reused. Oh wow, that's gonna be nasty.
The show has got a budget, or in this case the game has got a budget. So.
Oh, the bombing strike.
Yeah, that was weird.
So that may kill it there. Trying to change his course. Dodges it off to the side. Oh wow, nice. If he kept going backwards in a straight line, he would have got hit there. So changing direction.
The cons had to retreat as well, so
yeah.
the PTRS is not actually going to be enough. This is going fantastically for our Axis. No, our allies retain map control. The 75 is a good choice.
Yeah, Kpen, I'm guessing, is going for a King Tiger now. He's already got his Panther. Sorry, that's not Kpen. He's already got his Flammhetzer, so he's got, you know, a strong anti-infantry to hold the line. He's got double Raketens. He doesn't really need anything else. He can go straight for his King Tiger, especially with a Panther and a Brumbar. There's plenty of armor on the field.
Yeah.
The King Tiger's been nerfed a bit, but still definitely worth going.
Strong unit for sure. That's also the issue with leaving support weapons where they are. You just kind of bait your opponent into looking for off maps onto it.
Oh, the MG also got a buff. The MG34 does more damage now, but more expensive. We'll get taken out here though.
Did they switch the first and last numbers around and add one? Or minus one? I don't even know.
No.
Something
we went from 2 to 3.
MG42s are better than MG34s, so...
Right. Okay, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Alright, Su-85's got to be careful of the cloaked Raketens, but not if there's a squad gunning them down very quickly.
Job Captain, in range for that Thompson to actually be effective. Rifleman also firing, though retreat seems optimal at this stage. Oh, mass retreat, I don't know if that was on purpose or
Yeah,
not.
I doubt that
Could
was
have
on
been.
purpose. That captain was about to die.
Yeah, that's weird. That was the... Yeah, I always hate the Archon Hawk retreat is probably my least favourite thing that I do. So grabbing every squad and retreating when you only mean to retreat one is just not a good time.
Is he firing at the Raketen? Destroying that would be really good.
Is that a Panzerwerfer?
Yes, it's Panzerwerfer.
Oh.
We're almost dying there. Control the VP's currently in the hands of the Allies. A triple cap, taking the Axis down. But here's the King Tiger. Still, there is already a Jackson and an Su-85. It's a very open map, so this could get shut down pretty quickly. He's going to have to use it in synergy with a Panther for a flank, or just by keeping it to sort of camp the VPs and preventing caps.
There isn't a lot of mine pressure from our allies. There are a couple. I mean, you've seen one M6. I think there's another one somewhere that I can remember seeing, but other than that, it's not a lot. Heavy pressure can certainly work, and at the very least, I'd like to see this King Tiger start pushing the allies off these VPs. So regaining control there. I think this house has actually been a godsend for the allies. It's kind of keeping them even in terms of population cap and squad count. 17 models as well. And we've already seen it, wipe. We've at least seen it wipe 2 support weapons. It might have wiped more.
AnAlternateWorld maybe hanging on for his P-47. It's a really good ability. right now he's making full use of his tier 4, getting his howitzer carriages as well, which have been doing pretty well actually. 13 kills on that one. And with his Jacksons, good anti... Oh wow, for Pathfinders. Okay, so he's going for the airborne, but and I think that's, that's for the P-47. Pathfinders give a lot of vision, so put them behind cover somewhere. They're pretty squishy, especially in this late game situation, so I think they won't go too well on their own. But will he actually go for bars? Because if he goes for bars, it's a pretty big commitment in terms of denying his P-47, but it does make the Pathfinders very strong.
That's a dodgy point. I'm not sure. So bars interact well with their new their new interaction with like the sniper and like the rifles and stuff like that.
Well, it's not a new interaction. It hasn't
Right?
changed at all. These Pathfinders haven't been changed.
Oh, right. It's
The
only
recon
IR.
ones? Yeah.
I thought it applied to both. Maybe not.
Did they actually change the way the sniper works?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was under that impression. I could be wrong.
No, I think they just gave the IR Pathfinders the regular Pathfinder sniper.
Right, okay, yeah.
But we are missing stuff dying, I think.
Not yet that I've seen.
Well, it was squad wipes, so not a big deal, I guess. Oh, okay, big move up. 3 conscripts against this King Tiger. SU-85 as well. He's running for his life. How many cons will go down? Trying to find the nades.
Such animation cancel.
Oh, the Panzerwerfer just missed that blob, but he will retreat. That could have been so deadly if that Panzerwerfer was a little bit like closer to the King Tiger.
Do the conscripts have to stay in range or something?
For the AT grenade.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. The package, yeah.
I don't know, but
They must do. I mean, you saw that animation cancelling, like all the way
Yeah.
up to the King Tiger. That was weird as. Wow, dear. Double SU-85. What a setup for our allies.
one of them's Vet 2 as well.
So I think there was a period after the T-34s got wiped where the Axis could have put on more pressure and they didn't. Maybe we've even gone after this howitzer, and now they're not really in a spot that they can do that.
I think they're too far behind in squads. There's only Osttruppen, so you've got Osttruppen and you've got MP40 volts, which aren't that
Yeah.
good against double bar riflemen, against big conscript blobs, a lot of HMG. So I think that's the real problem here. The Axis have all the tanks that they need, but they can't use their AT guns to zone away the SU-85s because their infantry just gets forced off, and then the AT guns as a result get forced off. So the infantry is always very important in the late game. In any situation, having better infantry presence is very important. And there's even bars on these echelon as well. So if there's big Panther dives, that's okay. Plenty of Zooks.
Yeah. Look.
Oh wow. Okay, Panther there,
Yeah.
and it's only Flamehancer. So it's still not really enough to fight these SU-85s head up, especially there with Jackson in the back. Oh wow, that was a bombing strike.
That was a bombing strike.
Didn't actually get the Stern Pioneers, but it stunned the King Tiger for long enough SU-85 to get within range, and there it goes to one of the conscript PTRS. Panzer headquarters could be taken out next.
Certainly a possibility. Double SU-85s on the field don't really suffer from having to deal with the Panzer headquarters. Should be able to roll their way over it if they'd like to.
Jackson as
That's
well.
certainly what AnAlternateWorld has in mind.
Okay, this is perhaps too deep, but the AT gun a little bit late to set up. Turning on the spot, but SU-85 joining the fight, so the Panther's going to get taken out here. As he avoids the SU-85s going behind the trees would be great, but a little bit late with the response. No sign of the echelon there with their bazookas, so the Panther should survive this one.
That was really good micro from the last one. He actually stopped the Panther to take a final parting shot at one of the Jacksons to make sure it went down. Which I think is just a really intelligent move. When our Axis are this far behind, they have to take those kind of risky plays. Where it's just like, okay.
Kpen finally used the correct grenade. And actually, he capped the Raketten as something blew up 2 models. So he lost the MP40 volts. Wasn't really his fault. It happens all the time to me when you got to cap a weapon, and during the process of capping the weapon, you lose 2 models and you lose the score. Nice cheese. Well,
MVPs and that should be it.
I mean, that howitzer has been very effective. I think that's probably the MVP here, but ultimately, just not enough firepower. No Panzer Grenadiers, no Obers, nothing to really contest. Just the huge infantry presence of the allied infantry.
I think they can kill bars at least.
Yeah.
And I thought with the tanks that our axes really were in a good spot, but it's just, you're right, the infantry presence kind of wins out in the end.
Yeah, MP40s are just really bad against bars.
Right.
Because you run up to them, and during that entire time, you're taking damage. You get up close, and you're still taking a lot of damage. And even if you use a smoke grenade, you emerge, and like, the bar minimum range just murders you. But against things like Tommies in particular, but even things like guards, things like penals to a lesser extent. There are.
I have to have a play with cons, but like
there are even just regular cons. But there are things that MP40s work well against and work moderately well against, and there are things they work badly against, and bars are definitely one of those. So I sort of stand by what I said. I think Kpen going triple MP40s, and I'm sure he just wants to test these things out more than hardcore playing to win. But I think that's sort of the way to do it, is mostly just go with your STGs. They even cost more, 45.
Yeah.
But having one squad there for the nades, for the smokes, would be very useful.
Definitely. Cool. Very good. Well, thank you for joining us today, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed the game of Company of Heroes 2. We're certainly enjoying the December balance preview. It's nice to see some fresh strats and people trying out lots of different things. It's cool.
Yeah, I love all these changes. They need some fine tuning, but I think they really bring a lot of life back to the game, and they make these commanders a lot more useful, which were otherwise neglected, just more variety of commanders and so forth. So yeah, thanks for watching. That's going to wrap us up for now. If you do want to support Blake's effort to continue the 5 video per week schedule, then do consider backing us on Patreon now that we're sort of back into the full swing of things. So yeah, that's it. See you next time.
Bye.